All right, fire away.
Jason, you want to get faster. YaYa Diaby, 4.51 time, 40-yard dash doesn't mean everything when you're rushing the passer, but this guy can move for somebody his size.
Yeah, he's very explosive. He's big, he's long. I believe he's got like an 82 wing. Yeah, we really liked what we saw with him on tape, and then meeting with him. He's all about football, and that's kind of been the theme of these guys this last couple days. So very excited about him. Physical, fast. I don't want to say raw. That's sometimes taken as a negative connotation, but his best football's in front of him, and that's what kind of excites us about him. That we get to work with him and see even better things here in hopefully the near future.
A little bit of a late bloomer.
Yep.
I was going to say, does that kind of explain the production, the huge jump in production that we saw, this past year versus the previous?
I believe so. Yeah, we thought so. It got better and better as it went.
Cody Mauch, guard, tackle, what?
See him as a guard. See him an interior player. Start him off at guard. And, he's at the Senior Bowl, played some center, played some guard, played some right tackle, played left tackle there. He's played up and down the line. Did a really good job at all of them. But right now we see him as a guard. But as you know, we love guys that, we're not the only team, but love guys that can play them all. So we'll see how he fits in.
Jason's personality, he kind of falls in line with a lot of the guys you have in that room. How much do you like being able to add to that and continue the vibe you have in your offense?
I love it. Absolutely love it. Jensen's been texting ever since we took him. He and I are going to mess some things up. He didn't use the word mess.
It's really a stepbrothers thing.
Oh yeah, it's weird. If you could somehow clone Jensen and Keefe together, you get Cody Mauch. So it's great. Who doesn't like that? I talked about it the other day. Offensive line, the guys that you have fun watching. It just so happened we were watching him together for the 18th time, but and he was one that we have a lot of fun watching.
If you see Cody play more inside, opposite Tristan, how do you kind of see the offensive tackle position shaking out right now? Do you have a leader in the clubhouse?
We'll see how that goes. We are excited about how Luke did for us at tackle there at the end of the year. It's his natural position. He might be there. Tristan may move to left, but it's and I'm very confident we all are that he'll do a good job over there. So, but it's kind of a work in progress. So I'm certainly not going to set the depth chart here. You can talk to Todd whenever you get to talk to Todd. So, and he can talk a little bit more about that.
Jason, you were spoiled last year on day 3 at the first pick. It might be a little bit of a weight now, and I know that probably burns you up.
It's killing me. Yeah.
Yeah, not having a 4th round pick.
Yeah, it's killing me.
Wouldn't prevent you maybe from trading up if you
No.
saw somebody that you like there.
Yeah, but sometimes it's good to be patient. I think over the years I've learned a little bit how to contain myself a little bit in there in the room. Got some help there, but we have a diverse group of people, men and women working in there. Some of them are a little extra aggressive. Some of them are a little bit more willing to tell me to settle down. So it's a perfect mix. I was going to move up here for YaYa. I was worried about a few teams, but we stayed put. So now I was able to keep our picks, which I'm excited about.
Jason, what were some of the traits that you liked most out of Mauch?
His extracurricular activity after when the whistle's still echoing. His pure passion for the game. His athleticism is really, really underrated. He's a great athlete, really quick, really flexible, great bend. You see him when he's going for a little shot at the end, how quickly he gets up. He's a great athlete. He's got a great puller. He's great in space. He's going to have to get a little stronger, like all offensive linemen, especially coming from a smaller school. I think he was the first non-Power 5 player taken, but we don't see that as a limitation. We just think it's going to make him better as he gets, as we pull him along.
North Dakota State runs the heck out of the ball. He's probably more advanced as a run blocker right now. How much room does he have to grow? Does he need to grow as a pass protector at this level?
Well, I think I think obviously has room to grow. I mean, he'll even tell you that. So he's a fast learner though, and he's a real willing, all three of these guys, to put in extra work. So when you have those traits usually comes around a little quicker, especially for a very intelligent guy like he is.
Is it concerning at all that you do kind of have now a bit of a crowded group of
No.
players in your interior O-line versus your tackle?
Not concerning at all. I'll take as many as we can get.
You kind of did that with corner over the last few years, kind of brought in a lot of guys and then saw how it all shook out. Is that kind of the strategy as well as your?
Sometimes it works to flood it. Sometimes it doesn't. But in this case, we're really happy with all the guys that we do have.
You guys were a hard team to peg in terms of positional need. Do you feel like these first 3 picks have been what you wanted in terms of the available talent lining up with where you wanted it to be?
Yeah, and it doesn't always work out where what we thought was our number 1, number 2, number 3 need, but we thought all these positions were positions that we felt like we could use and upgrade and get better at. But overall, I think Todd said it as well. We wanted to get faster and more physical, and we feel like we really did that.
It looked like it was a pretty deep group of edge rushers in this draft. What was it about YaYa that stood out? Was it just the speed off the ball?
Well, it's he's a very good athlete. He's very strong, so he's got speed to power, which is hard to find. I think I've found over the years the guys that don't make it don't have an element of power. So you can be fast as hell off the edge if you don't have any power to combine with it. You get figured out by NFL tackles. So he's got speed and he's got power and he's got great effort.
When you look at Diaby, and to Jen's point, this is a pretty deep edge rusher class. At the same time, there's been a run on those edge rushers. Was it getting to the point where there weren't as many guys?
Especially when we didn't have a pick in 4th.
Exactly.
Yep. Still some out there might be, hopefully be there when we're picking again. But
How pressing would you say it is kind of getting some depth at your cornerback position, particularly your nickel position, especially with Sean Murphy-Bunting departing?
it's an area that we are looking at. You can't fill every need. You just can't. And your needs, even after the draft, compared to your needs September 1st, are always different. So still have a lot of time. Thank God we don't play in 2 weeks, our first game. So we still have a lot of time.
Many people in the public have said cornerback is rather deep this year. Do you agree with that sentiment? Do you feel like you can still find value in the 5th, 6th, 7th round at that position?
Potentially, yeah.
Both players taken tonight are both 24 years old, I believe. And with COVID extending how old the players are, is that something that deterred you, or is something that you look at when evaluating prospects?
No, we look at the talent. We look at the overall talent of the player and how good he is and match it up with our needs. And the age 24 is not concerning. You're starting to, if it is, you're starting to worry about, will we do a second contract with him? Well, I mean, if we get to that point, we feel like we made the right pick. Okay, so if we're deciding whether or not we're going to do a second contract. So it's not going to hold us back. So
You said the other day, it can kind of work the flip side too. These guys can be more mature, a little bit more advanced.
Correct, and we're seeing that our 3 guys that we picked so far fit that mold. I mean, it's not necessarily what we're setting out to solely focus on, but it just so happened that it's part of the totality of the profile of the player, and it sure helps when a guy is mature, as you guys know and you guys have seen over the years. It helps with the development of a player.
You had mentioned Cody needed to develop his strength, as he works to the next level. With YaYa, where are his opportunities? Would you say run defense is potentially an area where he needs to improve in to really get to the next level and establish himself?
Well, I think these guys right now coming in, none of them from pick 1 to the last pick are the finished product. So I think they all need work at everything, and I feel like sometimes we expect them to go out week 1 and dominate, or certainly by their first year they had to have dominated or been a great player, when it takes time for some of these players, two years to reach their full potential.
This draft has been described by some prognosticators as one of the more unpredictable ones in recent memory, and I know you guys do a lot of research on what other teams are doing to try to figure that out. Have there been any moments in this draft overall that have kind of come as a surprise to you?
Well, there's always surprises. So every draft, there's always surprises, and nothing. But at the same time, nothing ever surprises you because there's always surprises. So you got to be ready for them, if that makes sense at all.
Contingency plans.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Jason.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Do we get you tomorrow or no?